So here we are again. I want to thank all of you who commented on my video last week. You were mostly helpful and constructive and flattering. Thank you. Except for one guy whom I will remember. So, last week's video was a demonstration of how to lose a double or nothing sit and go at 888 poker. I've realized what my problem was, and it was that I was at 888 poker. So I have dumped that site forever, and I now am back at PokerStars. My poker site of choice used to be Full Tilt, but we all know what happened to them. Although I'm not really upset about having left $800 in my account when it went under, because a couple of months before that I actually won. First I won the bronze monthly free roll, which was really exciting. That was about $1,100, and then the winner of that went on to play a sit and go against, or a series of 2 sit and goes against the winners of the Silver, Gold, and Ironman free rolls, and I won that one too, and that was another $5,000. And after that, I went on to play a series of 3 heads-up sit and goes against 3 pros, one after the other, and the way it worked was, if you won one of them, you got $5 grand. If you won 2, you got 10 grand. If you won all 3, you would get 50 grand. So I won only 1, but that was another 5 grand. So that day, I won $11,000, and I was able to cash all but $800 of it out before Full Tilt collapsed. So, you know, I can't say I have any regrets about being there for so long. And you know what? I'd actually go back if they were resurrected somehow. Oh, look at that. I flopped a set. No, I flopped a full house. Yeah, I've got to get the terminology straight on this in this game. So, boat. That's what you call it. Yeah, a boat. So, I'm going to make a bet and hope to fish somebody else in. Oh, we already have a victim. I didn't even notice that. I was so busy with my anecdote that I did not even notice that I was a step closer to victory. I'm going to just change an option here to show player images, because that's always amusing when I'm only playing one table. When I'm playing multi-tables, I get rid of them because they're very, very distracting. So this is a $7 no limit hold'em turbo sit and go. I've decided that whenever I make one of these videos, I will play a completely different, either for different stakes, higher than before, or a completely different game. Whether it be a cash game or a sit and go or a multi-table tournament, that should make things more interesting for both of us. So, who are we playing against today? What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play a little game. I'm gonna try to guess what country each of my opponents is from. Okay, to my immediate left, we have Oleg Pokerman. Oleg is a Russian name, and his avatar looks like a stereotypical Russian citizen. So I'm going to bet that he's from Russia. I'm correct. Hypersmart has kind of a Venom type scary thing there. Normally I would guess that he's American, but we know that there are no Americans there, don't we? I'm sorry, but you're suckers. I'm gonna guess that he's a Philo-Canadian. No, he's from Belarus. Oh, that was very upsetting. Drunk fella? Perhaps Irish? No, Greek. Well, same sort of business ethic. I'm quite racist today, aren't I? Only recreationally. Acekeeper 83. I'll wager that he might be from the United Kingdom. He's a German. Okay. I am 1 for 4 so far. Gotta step up my game. Leb Thief. Seems to have a picture of Ray Fiennes in a hood. Let's say that he's also Russian. He gave it away in the name. My God. Not very quick today, am I? He's from Lebanon. I think that's the first time I've ever seen anyone from Lebanon here. So I have no preconceptions about him. Overbet it, so I'm going to guess he's playing the same game as Leb Thief, and I'm going to guess that he's Italian. No, he's Canadian. Okay. That's some kind of Star Wars avatar, I think. I don't know. And Gerblmzik, well, it sounds Polish to me. Or Moldovan, same difference. And that was your racist entertainment for the day. Man, that's a good Coke Zero. A little gassy, though. Ooh, yeah. So before I'm finished with this series of videos, I'm hoping that you will see me win. Ooh, that was an interesting hand. I was hoping we'd have another victim, but no. So bankroll management is very important. It's amazing how many people don't realize that, but I have a friend who he won like 17 grand in a tournament once. It was awesome. Like he played very well, and he took his bankroll from like 500 bucks, I think it was at full tilt as well, to like 17 grand. So he was so happy about that he considered himself invincible and started entering $2,000 buy-in tournaments. And so his 17 grand whittled away down to just a few hundred again. That's because he failed at bankroll management. So what I do is, I think it was Chris Ferguson who suggested this, was that you, in cash games and sit and goes, you never pay more than, at each table, 5% of your bankroll. So say I have $500, I would not allow myself to invest more than, let's see, carry the one, 25 bucks at sit and go or a cash game. As far as multi-table tournaments go, you should never invest more than 2%, which would be, if you have, again, 500 bucks, 10 bucks. So that way, if you're a decent player, you don't have to be a superb player. God knows I'm not. If you play that way, you will never have to redeposit at any online poker site or go to the bank again in real life. So yeah, at whatever poker site I have played at, I have never deposited more than once, I'm happy to say. And, you know, I'm not a great player either, as you can clearly tell. Although I do have the second highest stack currently at this table. Top 3 get paid, of course. Whereas at last week's tournament, it was half the players got 20 bucks. Here, let's see, first place gets 29, second place 17, third place 11. I'll take it. By the way, although that was a good piece of advice, that's the last time I take Chris Ferguson's advice about anything, because he has my 800 bucks. And even if someone buys full tilt and I get it back, he's dead to me. Seems like a nice guy. Apparently he's an embezzler. that will teach you a lesson. I got some good advice last week from a few of you, many of you. One gentleman, this was correct, I should have been doing this, advised me to keep my cursor over my avatar so people can see the cards I folded, which is always nice for curiosity's sake, but you shouldn't be too interested in it, because online poker decks are not like real life poker decks. Because in real life, when the deck is shuffled and the dealer is holding the deck in his hand, the order of the cards is not going to change. That actually is the order of the cards. So if I had a 6-9 suited and folded it, and the dealer flipped up a 7-8-10 of hearts, I would be very upset. But online, if a 7-8-10 of hearts is flipped up on the flop, I'm not going to be upset at all, because the deck of unseen cards behaves as though it were continually shuffling in the background at all times, and then the flop or the turn or the river are not chosen until it's time for those cards to be chosen from that deck. So depending on whether you raise, call, or fold, it's going to take you a slightly different amount of time in your brain to come up to make those decisions, whether it be just a thousandth of a second. But that thousandth of a second means that totally different cards will come up on the flop than if you had made your decision a thousandth of a second earlier or later. So, therefore, you should not place any stock whatsoever after you've folded in the cards that come up on the flop. You should pay attention to the other players' cards, of course, because those are set. I hope. Which I have not been doing during this tournament because I've been busy talking to you fine people. Although this is a turbo tournament, things are going a little slowly so far. People are not being overly aggressive today, I find. I'm going to go see a flop here, and I have high pair, which I will try to take advantage of. Small win, but they add up. And here's a pair of 9s, that's also attractive. Oh, that's from the game Thief, isn't it? That avatar. Hence his name. It's not Ray Fiennes at all. Huh. I never much liked stealth games. I like to shoot and kill things as much as possible during my periods of relaxation. Oh, man, next time I'm going to have to drink something far less gassy when I do this. Perhaps with a little bit more alcohol in it, too. Meaning any. Nothing like a good stiff drink. Glad to see that they have internet in Lebanon. You might notice, if you're looking at my desktop in the background, lovely mountain scenery, that I enjoy the gaming. I'm a member in good standing of the Steam community, on which I have about 150 odd games, 7 of which I have played. I also enjoy the World of Warcraft. I have a dozen characters on a dozen different realms. Don't ask me why. Pair of 4s. I was also told by some of you that I was far too passive in my previous tournaments, so I'm going to try as best I can to be a little more aggressive. And, you know, with a timid table like this, I suppose that is good advice, isn't it? I also have Magic Online sitting here. That's Magic the Gathering, which I think is the best game ever invented in any format. But it is so incredibly expensive to play because I like playing limited draft format that I have actually not played a single game of it in about 3 years. And I'm not going to a store to play. That's just... I've learned my lesson. The money at this table is just changing hands and nobody's being eliminated. That is not something I like. Yeah, so gaming stores, in my experience, are one of the most fetid environments on this earth. The mud pools of Zimbabwe are no comparison whatsoever to the rank repulsiveness of most gaming stores. No offense. Gerblemzik is waking up, and Oleg Pokerman is responding. Battle of the Slavs. Well, something's going to happen here, isn't it? Okay, we got the full house versus a straight. Way to go. And Gerblemzik is on his deathbed. And I have a pretty good hand. The fact that he called shows me that Nukak, he says. Nukak indeed, Oleg. Well, I'm going to assume I'm going to overcompensate by being far too aggressive and see how he responds. He's too busy gloating over his last hand. No, he did not take my bait. Huh. Another good hand. And although I have trepidation, if anyone else calls this, I'm going to fold because I suspect a better hand than that. But if it's folded around to me, I'm afraid I must just take that bait. Yep. And hope that Oleg doesn't call as well. I'd just rather go against one guy than two. Oh! Buy a whisker. No nines, please. Or sevens. Thank you. Okay. So I was successful in that attempt at assertiveness. Okay, he has a pretty low stack. I have a pretty high stack. He raises to 200. And this also is worth pushing all in for. This time I'm not going to be as... unless a 10 comes up. No, even that, no. As you can tell, I am not an excellent player. Although, who could have predicted that? Huh? Huh? And still I am third highest stack, so that, although it cost me 1,000 chips or so, was not debilitating. And I see that Ace Keeper is not one to frivolously go all in either. Very straightforward, as I would expect a German to be. I will refrain from making disparaging comments the German nation. Because God knows no one who speaks German could be evil. And the thief from Lebanon stays alive. I also have a few movies and TV shows here on the desktop. A couple of seasons of Parks and Recreation, which is my current favorite show. I am madly in love with Amy Poehler. If you're listening, Amy, I would be delighted to buy you dinner someday. I know you're married to Will Arnett, but I think he would understand. Ugh, we are not just having as many eliminations as quickly as I would like to see them. I tend to become far more aggressive when I have 10 or fewer big blinds, as one should be. Right now I have about 15. So I can afford to be a little selective. I'm suppressing my belches very successfully this afternoon. If I hadn't mentioned that, you would never have known. Although he is drunk, he is not showing its effects very much yet. He's very disciplined for a Greek. I may or may not have Greek blood in me, so it's okay for me to make fun of them a little bit. Okay, we are probably... Nope, we're not going to see another elimination. Just see money shifting from one side of the table to the other. The Greeks are causing some trouble in Europe these days, of course. They have a tax on swimming pools, and in the city of Athens, only 500 or 600 people were paying this tax. So they were thinking that couldn't be right, so they took to the air to count the number of swimming pools in Athens, and the result was something like 17,000. So they are not very big on their tax paying. And we are down to 6. 3 more? Well, theoretically we could see 2 gone here. That would be delightful. Come on, Oleg, I'm rooting for you. Nope, not today. But Gerbelmazik is gone. Back to spending his afternoon in Moldova, however they spend afternoons in Moldova. I shall refrain from guessing. Only 2 victims needed now, but it's unclear as to which of these fine gentlemen it will be. Oleg's in good shape. Lovely complexion. Four, 5 suited. Can be promising in some situations. This is probably not one of them. But I will take that. Okay, blinds are going up to the point at which I'm just going to shove my chips in more often than not, probably. And see what happens. At this point, any ace, any pair. If I'm the first one in the pot, it's all in for me. That's not horrid either, you know. But it's not great. Excuse me while I readjust my position. I have a new desk chair and it's not really working out. I had to throw away my old one even though it was only 4 or 5 years old because of the stuffing pouring out spontaneously. That's how much sitting I do. It results in spontaneous chair destruction. I am of normal weight for my height, though. Please don't get any ideas otherwise. Ace-9 unsuited. If they had better than that, they would have been more aggressive, in my opinion. Let's see how correct my opinion is. Quite indeed. Okay, I only have to take care of one more of these jokers to end up in the money. Looks good. Oh, is this where we see it happen? Not unless a 9 comes up. No. Okay, so realistically I would think that my compatriot overbet it is my target and that of these other two guys. Little bit of a cushion over him. Which I hope I can take advantage of. Also hoping for Ace Keeper and Oleg to also be aggressive. Thinking, deep in thought, as Germans will be. Not seeing any pleasant cards in the last few hands. Time for another sip of my beverage. King 2 offsuit. Fold. You see, I haven't been keeping my cursor over the avatar. I'm sorry, I apologize for that. Although I do appreciate advice, I don't always take it. Much to my dismay. Okay, pair of 5s. Unless Ace Keeper does something, I'm going to raise all in and hope for the best. Oh dear, 50-50. Oh. Oh. Oh, well. That's not something I mind. Advantage me. I apologize for not perhaps talking as much as I could. I have a sore tongue today. Don't ask. So, 1 Russian, 1 German, and 2 Canadians remain. The current powerhouses of online poker. that you Americans are temporarily banned. I hope temporarily. I miss you guys. Pair of 4s. Let's see if it can be as good as my pair of 5s were. You want to risk it, sir? Yes, you do. Okay, let's see. Is this it? No, probably not. Okay, he lives to fight another day, and I'm back in the doghouse. No, second from the doghouse. This is actually the part of a tournament I find most fun. I like just being able to go all in and let the cards fall where they may. As long as there isn't too much at stake, of course. Well, no better time than now to go all in. Okay, is this going to be it? Oh, 50-50 again. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, so that was that. And I came closer than I did last week, so we shall hope that in my next video you will see me triumphant. See ya.